My name is Sally McAdams and I coordinate Climate Emergency Australia. We're about to hear from a number of speakers very briefly about local government action in the climate emergency and about how Climate Emergency Australia can help you to strengthen your council's climate emergency response.
My name is Anjali Sharma. I'm 19 years old and I am a law student. And for the last few years, I've been calling on the government to acknowledge that they have a duty of care to young people to protect our health and well-being from adverse climate impacts. The policies that are being debated and passed in Parliament today are the ones that will craft and shape our future. And currently we are up against one that looks to be increasingly unlivable as we face the threat of climate impacts increasing in frequency and in severity. We know that the cost of this will be borne by my generation and the generations to come.
So the critical messages in summary and the critical actions is zero emissions at emergency speed within a decade is a crucial time frame. The second is that Earth is clearly already too hot and large-scale carbon drawdown is vital. The third, and we're seeing it now, is that damage is and will become more dangerous before long-term solutions are effective. So fourth, a safe means of immediate cooling is critical to protect people and nature, which may be summarised as reduce, remove, reflect and repair.
When councils say to me, we can't afford to manage climate risk, I say back to them, you can't afford not to. Councils are legally liable for managing climate risk, especially in the context of a world that is changing. We know that history is not a valid analogue for the future, and so council need to develop adaptation solutions and implement strategies to build systemic resilience, to respond to the threats of climate change that are happening today, and also be prepared for the future.
What does climate justice mean for me? It requires councillors and influential people across government and bureaucracy to decolonise their thinking. Look at the history, the effects of colonisation, cultural context relating to the local area or the region, and also to allow First Nations and Pacific Island peoples to lead in the design and implementation of climate emergency policies.
Just after we made our climate emergency declaration back in 2016, and there was a huge amount of public interest and a lot of social media, I think we then had that moment of, oh, wow, okay, we actually have to do something with this now. We've given ourselves this pretty big mandate to take action and effectively to look at everything through a climate emergency lens.
So the idea behind the climate emergency approach is essentially to match the problem, which is global warming, with a set of solutions that are actually going to solve the problem. So there's a few components to that. So we're looking at speed and scale, and so we're looking at an economic-wide, very fast transitions to negative emissions. So from a local government point of view, what that means is how can we take an approach where the local government's entire business is put through a climate emergency lens.
Climate Emergency Australia, or CEA, is a network of local councils around Australia who have declared a climate emergency. Our role is to advocate on behalf of our members and to build the capacity of the local government sector to respond to the climate emergency. 41 councils are currently members of Climate Emergency Australia, and they are essentially crowdfunding the services that we provide to councils all around the country. Our new micro-credential, Governing in the Climate Emergency, is a training program for senior local government leaders who want to strengthen their council's response to the climate emergency. Now, let's hear from some past participants about what they got out of the training.
Hi, my name is Prapti Mehta, and I'm a councillor at the Shire of Mundaring, which is in the Perth Hills. So when I did the training in 2024, I found it very, very interesting and extremely useful. I met a number of other councillors from various other states in Australia, and learning from them, understanding what they were doing to tackle climate change was really important. And as a result, I have been able to take back to my own council some of my ideas and some of my learnings, and also have been able to make a few changes. For example, putting in real climate change management strategies into our next strategic plan. So if you are considering doing the training, I would thoroughly recommend that you do it, because you will learn a lot, you will meet new people, and you will gain valuable information on how best to deal with climate change, not just within your area, but throughout Australia.
My name's Isabel Tolhurst, and I completed Governing in the Climate Emergency in 2024. What I got out of the course was an insight into how councils across Australia are responding to the challenge of climate change, and how through collaboration there's great opportunity to improve how we respond to support our communities and better use the limited resources our sector has. If you're thinking about doing the course, it's a resounding yes from me. You'll meet wonderful, passionate people who are dedicated to ambitious action on climate change. You'll gain skills and resources to help guide you through your council term and support your community, and have a good time along the way.
So, if you want to strengthen your council's climate emergency response and tap into a network of people around the country who are already working on this so you don't have to reinvent the wheel, go to climateemergencyaustralia.org.au, where there are 3 things you can do. Number 1, make sure your council is a member of CEA. Number 2, if you're a senior leader, sign up for the next round of Governing in the Climate Emergency training. And number 3, stay in touch with us by joining our mailing list.